Who wants to know your take, man? Jake Paul, Mike Tyson, who you got?
Now, Mike Tyson.
Mike Tyson?
Jake Paul will be up against. He'll get teased for taking this fight, for one. He'll get teased for that. He'll work himself through that. But, yeah, if he goes out there and cleans his clock, they're going to come down.
Jake Paul versus Mike Tyson has become one of the most talked about fights in boxing, and now several legends are making bold predictions that are adding even more excitement. Former heavyweight champion Lennox Lewis recently shared his own fun take by posting a video game simulation of the fight on Instagram. Along with the clip, he wrote that he had heard Tyson would be fighting Jake Paul and wasn't sure how the real fight would play out, but joked that it might look something like the simulation. The virtual matchup showed Paul and Tyson facing off in an intense UFC-style battle, giving fans another reason to keep talking about this highly anticipated event.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is the main event of the evening.
In the simulation, the fight ended almost instantly as Jake Paul was dropped hard to the canvas before he could recover. Just seconds later, Mike Tyson had his hand raised in victory after a brutal knockout, leaving no question about who dominated the virtual showdown.
Time! 5 rounds for the undisputed UFC Heavyweight Championship of the world.
Iron Mike Tyson has graced the octagon. Tyson is ready to fight.
It is all over. I have to think this is going the distance, and he's dead.
Tyron Woodley, one of Jake Paul's former opponents, also agrees with Lennox Lewis' prediction and believes Mike Tyson will have the final word. Woodley said Tyson's age should not be used as an excuse because his experience gives him a huge advantage. He added that if Jake Paul manages to beat Tyson, no matter how old Tyson is, people would still have to give Jake respect for accomplishing something so difficult. Woodley also explained that Tyson's years of training have built incredible muscle memory, meaning he can still throw powerful combinations that could seriously hurt almost anyone, even without trying to go all out.
At the end of the day, Mike Tyson, just watching the dude hit and pass in the bag, like, I always have this inside joke. They be like, how much would you have to get paid to fight Mike Tyson? I'm like, I'd never be able to spend it. Like, you know what I mean? So at the end of the day, he's fighting the one fighter that most people feared. And I feel like 58, 27, the age is not a factor. That's a wash, right? Experience level obviously is going to go to Mike Tyson. But Jake's got a...
Woodley went even further by saying Tyson still has the kind of power that can seriously damage a person with one perfectly placed punch. He explained that Tyson has forgotten more boxing techniques than Jake Paul has ever learned, showing just how great his experience is. Woodley also believes that if Mike Tyson knocks Jake Paul out, no one should be surprised, no matter Tyson's age, because he thinks most people would end up with the same result if they stepped into the ring with the former heavyweight champion.
Jake Paul beat Mike Tyson. I don't give, he's 70. You're going to have to put at least an ounce of respect on his name. Mike Tyson right now, off muscle memory alone, he can have a flashback, right? He can step on the wrong eggshell and let off a combination that can kill most people. No bullshit. He has the power and ability to shift organs in your body if he hits you with the right force, right? So I think he forgot more technique than Jake Paul has ever learned.
UFC welterweight contender Matt Brown believes Jake Paul is putting himself in a no-win situation by fighting Mike Tyson at this point in Tyson's life. Brown admitted Paul will make a lot of money and attract huge attention, especially with Netflix involved, but said the fight hurts Paul's reputation either way. According to Brown, losing to a 60-year-old Tyson would be embarrassing, while beating a man of that age would not earn much respect, making it a losing scenario regardless of the result. Brown also believes Paul is intentionally playing the villain because he knows fans will tune in hoping to see him get knocked out, which creates a strong storyline and drives viewership. Even so, Brown criticized the matchup, saying it lacks real competitive value and compared it unfavorably to Paul's previous fights, arguing that this bout is not one that should be taken seriously. Meanwhile, former Mike Tyson trainer Teddy Atlas also shared his thoughts on the unexpected matchup.
I'm actually a fan of Jake Paul's, and I'll tell you why. The American dream. He had a vision, he had a belief. He went out there, he took all his YouTube, whatever you call those freaking things, all his YouTube followers. He went to a different platform, to a different arena. As I said, he had a vision for what he...
Teddy Atlas gave Jake Paul credit, saying his success is no accident but the result of having a clear vision and a smart plan for his career. Atlas admitted that he is actually a fan of Jake Paul and respects the way he has built his path in the boxing world.
he had the guts, he had the determination to go out there and color in that vision, and take risks doing it. Yeah, everyone says he's fighting old guys, he's fighting guys that aren't real boxers, he's fighting guys that are boxers but they're not good boxers. All that. He has taken risks. He's been in there with MMA guys that, like I said about Ngannou, they might have been a little older at the time. They might not have been purely a striker. Obviously, they were UFC champions, but they were champions.
Atlas acknowledged that Jake Paul lost to Tommy Fury, but pointed out that it was still a competitive fight. He said he respects Paul's attitude toward boxing because, in his 50 years in the sport, he believes Paul has never disrespected boxing. Instead, Atlas praised him for taking the sport seriously, working hard in training, and constantly trying to improve as a fighter.
Against Iron Mike, I'm not going against Mike Tyson.
I'm not neither.
Mike Tyson is one of those guys that you see his name, I'm voting Mike Tyson. I'm going for Mike.
Mike Tyson has completely turned his life around in recent years, rebuilding both his personal life and career, and is now putting everything else aside to prepare for his July fight with Jake Paul. Matt Brown admitted he was surprised Tyson even accepted the matchup because he doesn't believe Tyson needs the money or has a strong desire to fight anymore. Brown said Tyson has often spoken about leaving his fighting days behind, making this decision difficult for him to understand. While Brown enjoys Jake Paul taking on well-known athletes and personalities from outside boxing, like Nate Diaz or Ben Askren, he believes facing someone Tyson's age is unnecessary. Instead, he suggested Mike Perry as a much better opponent, saying Perry is a rising star in BKFC who would make for an exciting and competitive event. Brown argued there are plenty of entertaining crossover fights available and insisted Tyson should be left alone. Even though he dislikes the matchup, Brown hopes Tyson is taking the fight seriously and training to compete at his best. He also admitted that many fans would love to see Tyson show the same aggression he had in his younger days, joking that they want him to come in with the intensity to overwhelm Jake Paul and make him think twice about fighting older legends again. Meanwhile, during an episode of his podcast with Paul George and his co-hosts shared their predictions for the fight, adding even more debate to a boxing world that remains deeply divided over the outcome.
The age gap, he
take it serious.
Actually fighting a boxer. Like, he's not fighting a MMA guy. He's not fighting a wrestler. He's not fighting an entertainer. He's fighting a boxer. I don't care how old the age gap is. He's fighting.
Despite Jake Paul's youth giving him a clear physical advantage and his growing experience in the ring, many people still refuse to bet against Mike Tyson. The huge age gap between the two fighters continues to be one of the biggest talking points, but Paul George believes age should not be the deciding factor and remains confident that Tyson still has what it takes to make the fight highly competitive. Back in 2022, Mike Tyson openly criticized Jake Paul's boxing skills, saying Paul's punches were easy to read and claiming that if he were in peak shape, he would have no problem beating him by applying constant pressure instead of trying to outbox him. Around the same time, trainer Freddie Roach said Tyson watched only about 30 seconds of Paul's sparring before losing interest and leaving, while Roach described Paul as nothing more than an average club-level fighter. Jake Paul strongly denied those claims, saying he had never trained at Wild Card Gym, that Tyson had never watched him spar, and that they had never even been in the gym together. Paul also accused Roach of spreading false stories and dismissed his comments as those of a longtime critic. Despite Tyson's early doubts about Paul's abilities, his attitude appeared to change after their fight was officially announced, with the boxing legend expressing real excitement for the matchup. That wraps up today's video. If you enjoyed it, don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you never miss our next upload.